Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Steven Salvatore. I am a quantitative trader. I run a hedge fund. I work for a large trading firm on Wall Street. I'm a consultant for multiple hedge funds, and I'm a quantitative analyst. I write my own indicators. I write my own strategies. I'm a coder, basically a dork. But I trade basically strictly on mathematics. I don't trade news. I trade news, obviously. I trade all sorts of events, but my main strategy is just based off of algorithms, and that is my strategy. So first of all, this is, be happy that you found this video and that you're tuned in, because you are going to learn some very valuable things today. Some things that are going to change your trading career forever, and you're getting the information for free, so you are welcome. I'm sharing this information with you for multiple reasons. The one main one being, it just kind of irritates me. It always has, when you go on these forums and you see other traders talking, and most of them have no clue what they're doing. But it's just the confirmation bias that's out there. It's the wrong things are being taught to people out there. There's a lot of gurus out there that are charging tons of money to teach strategies that just don't work, that are going to lose you money, or they're teaching you some basic stuff that, is basic fundamentals, but you can find it for free on the internet, and they're charging you $1,000 for it, and it's leading you down a wrong path, giving you unrealistic expectations, and wasting your time. Again, I'm not the holy grail of trading by any means. There's many other strategies out there that work as well. I am just giving you my experience. I've been doing this 8 years. I've back-tested hundreds of thousands of strategies. I've written hundreds of thousands of lines of code. I've been through it all. I've blown multiple accounts, lost a ton of my own money, blown through prop firms. I've been at all, ups and downs all around. Now I am succeeding in this business, and it just took so much time and so much mental exhaustion, so many sleepless nights. Was close to quitting. Well, I would never say I was really close to quitting. I think I just never, I'm addicted to this shit, and I just couldn't ever quit. But I did get pretty beat up about it, and it was tough. And, I still have those times. I've by no means beat the market. I still write new algorithms. I still continue to backtest strategies and try to always improve. But I have found a system that's very effective. So, with that being said, first thing I'm going to start with is that all these strategies out there, well, not all of them, like, you got to understand what strategies are. Okay, so let's just start something simple. So indicators, for example, indicators or head and shoulders patterns, all this stuff that you hear about every day, and you see traders chasing to try to make money. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. It's very frustrating, and we can lead ourselves down some very dark, deep rabbit holes chasing these strategies and the biggest thing is the unrealistic expectations. We see these traders and gurus driving their Lambos and claiming they worked at Taco Bell, and in 2 years they made $17 million, and they have 4 Bugattis and 3 planes and all this shit. And it fucks people up. It fucked me up too. It's bad. And it's just all so ridiculously unrealistic. Like, yeah, in theory, could any of that happen? Of course. It could, in theory, happen. And that is why these gurus make so much money in marketing, is because of the chance that, oh, well, it is possible, he could have done that, but there's just never any proof. And I'm sure it's happened before, people have done it, but it's very difficult. It sure as hell didn't happen to me. I've been going at it, beating a dead horse with this thing for years to finally come out on top, with the strategy that works. I make money consistently. I don't want to say effortlessly, but I don't kill myself every day. I'm not screaming at the screen. I'm not freaking out. I'm very comfortable with my trades. I know what I'm doing. I'm very happy with my entries and exits, and it's just work as usual, and we make money, and that's it. And that's how it should be, but it takes a long time to get here. But understand, these indicators, all these patterns are lagging patterns, And yes, they could work, because the whole concept of indicators and all of this stuff that you see on charts and you hear people talking about is that patterns are created in the market, and then we're looking for how those patterns repeat and what happens when those patterns form. And we try to develop a strategy that recognizes these things and takes trades based upon them. That's like 98% of what traders are doing out there, successful and unsuccessful. There's some that are successful, and again, when the only thing that separates the winners from the losers when it comes to all of those types of strategies is just strictly money management, because all of those strategies, some of them have a 40% win rate, some of them have a 60% win rate, some of them are 50. They're all in that world, in that vicinity. So it really just comes down to money management at that point. If you have a strict, super strict money management, and you're not drawing down your account, you're not spending money on shit, you're letting your account grow, yes, you could succeed, but it's very difficult to do. It takes a massive degree of discipline. That's one way to do it. If you want to actually beat the market and actually build a system that has a little bit more of an edge than that, that takes some work. I didn't even know if it was possible for a while, but seeing all these quants out there and algos that do it, I knew it was possible. So, and the other thing, that really drove me nuts was over the years when I was blowing my own accounts and learning and going through, I had some good times too. Had some good years, made a bunch of money. You go on the forums and you see everyone band together. Okay, we're buying NVIDIA. We got a bull flag here, or Head and Shoulders, or whatever. And people literally arguing with each other for confirmation bias, arguing, "Oh, you're wrong. You're a short seller. You're a dirtbag." And then if it doesn't go their way, everyone loses money. And then what does everyone say at that point? We all know market manipulation. Oh, they manipulated us. And I was in that world for a while when I started trading, and I hated myself. I can't. I do not want to be a part of this at all. Facebook forums, the Reddit forums, all this shit, disaster, horrible. So if you're in all that shit, again, be glad you found this video. You're gonna learn a lot, because all that shit is just a horrible distraction. You will never become the trader you want to be living in that world. Can you get something out of that? Sure. Can you win some trades in that world? Of course. But again, long haul, big picture, we're talking here. No, not going to happen. If you want to be a top tier quant or top tier trader like these guys on Wall Street that are killing the market every day, you think they're in Reddit forums? You serious? No, not happening. Do you think they're selling courses on YouTube? No, they're not. I'm giving out information for free. I succeed. I'll blow any of these traders out of the friggin' water. But I don't, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to make money, and it's a game against myself. But in any case, we have this world out there, all these indicators, all this stuff, it's all lagging. Okay, so you have to understand and most people don't understand the concept. They see indicators and they think, okay, if I learn how this indicator works, I can beat the market. But they don't understand, no matter how good they get with that indicator, how familiar they get, or build patterns with other indicators with it, confirmation this, confirmation that, volume confirmation, whatever the case may be, all the bullshit, it's still a lagging indicator. Okay, so at the end of the day, you have no idea which way the market's going to go. And we all know that. We all know, we've seen it all where, the market's doing this, it's supposed to do this, there's no way the market's going to go down, it goes down. We've seen, amazing earnings for a company, no way it goes down, or the other way around. We've seen it all, so there's just no guarantee. So, I just got to the point where I was like, none of this is working. I got to become, I got to go to the next level, whatever that is. And the next level is becoming a quantitative trader, where you're writing algorithms. So I learned Python, I learned PineScript, I learned all these trading languages to do all of this stuff. And I backtested thousands and hundreds of thousands of strategies, and this is where I am now today. And I use two major mathematical algorithms, and it will beat any of these patterns, any of the day of the week. I mean, I could literally sit here for hours just picking them off. And it's almost disgusting. And sometimes it almost feels like I have a crystal ball. I don't, because I lose trades too every once. But usually, if I lose a trade, it's because of a decision I made, because I didn't wait for the right setup, or I jumped the gun too much, or it's always something on me. And I think most traders have that in common. They might not even know it, but they do. I know where my A+ setups are. Now, you'll hear people talking about A+ setups. That is a real thing. Okay, so anyone that's saying stuff like that knows what they're talking about, and they're probably a real trader. Because that's true. You want to be building a strategy that's going to give you your quote-unquote A+ setup. When you find those A+ setups and have back-tested enough to know that it works majority of the time, that's going to give you a significant edge on the market. And that's where I started to gear my strategy towards, is building systems where I was able to produce more A+ setups And over time, between time frames and between two specific algorithms I'll get into in a second, I was able to start doing that. So here is a traditional chart. And we've all seen this. This is your traditional 1 hour chart on the NASDAQ futures. Yeah, we've all seen this candlesticks. They're beautiful. Now, this is live too. So I'll give you my live analysis. So yeah, we have this big jump off here, but your basic guru every day is going to talk about, okay, it's bullish, this is a bullish chart, this is a bull flag, you've got a pull back and retest going on here. So most gurus are going to tell you that this is bullish, and then the rest of the gurus will switch the narrative and say, oh no, that's a huge candle, it's coming down on this key level, and it's going to bust through, and then it's a short. Now, again, I'm not making fun of it, so I really shouldn't talk like that, because that stuff does work to an extent. Like, I've traded the supply and demand thing. Every once in a while, I'll glance at a chart and visualize a supply and demand scenario and apply it to my strategy in real time. But that is not what you want to be trading on full time. You're going to be very disappointed. Now, when it comes to supply and demand, it actually does work decent in Forex sometimes. If you zero in on certain currency pairs and what's going on economically and the times of the day and whatever, supply and demand can be effective. But with stocks and futures, it's not quite as effective. I've been destroyed with supply and demand, way more times than I've come out on top. And you can get, the one thing that's good about supply and demand is obviously the risk to reward's good, because you got these little windows where you set your stop losses. So either you're going to take a small loss, or you can get like 6 or 7 to 1. So it's not one that I'm completely against. I think you should learn all these things if you haven't already. But again, take everything with a grain of salt. So my strategy comes down to two mathematical algorithms: linear regression and polynomial regression. And here's what separates these two. It took me a long time to learn this. Here's what separates these two things from everything else that's out there. Number one, it's the most widely used by hedge funds and institutions. All their algos are written with some format of linear regression, at least some of them polynomial regression. But the big major difference is every indicator that's out there and everything out there that you're being taught is lagging. Okay, so it's showing you the past or in real time. It is not telling you the future. Now, it doesn't mean that linear regression and polynomial regression is an indicator that predicts the future. That is not the case either. But the design of the algorithm, okay, is to build a future pattern that the market can fit itself into. So it's taking data, volatility, volume, price action, and numerous other things in a mathematical formula. I'll give you a little glimpse, because here is my written algo right here. So it's taking all of these data points, okay, and it's essentially plotting areas in the future where it will go. Now, is it 100% accurate? No. But very, very accurate, and that's what it's based on. Now, polynomial regression kind of cleans up some of the data in the linear regression, takes the noise out of that. So linear regression, so here's kind of a step-by-step visually. Here's a regular chart right here. Now here is a linear regression chart. Now look at the massive difference. You look how much cleaner the linear regression chart is. Now I've converted all of this into code into a visual form, which is on my screen here. So the linear regressions I've turned into the form of candlesticks, and polynomial I've turned into the form of these histograms down here to give me quadratic equations that are mixed in, that are giving me different data points and packaging different data to show me things visually. It's just a visual version of a bunch of numbers. But we need visuals because we're looking at charts. This is how we trade. So look at the difference, like just the massive difference. So again, these are technically still lagging indicators because they're showing you real-time data in the past. Nothing's predicting the future. But the data it's giving me, the new form of these candlesticks and these histograms, is taking the current data and kind of scoping it up into future data. So it's giving you kind of a sneak peek. It's like you're cracking the door open to like peek into what's possibly going to happen. And then if you take these data points and you match them against each other, which is why I use both, so linear regression is really like my trend, my guide, and the polynomial is my confirmation. I don't like I look at volume and I look at these things, but I'm not necessarily making a trading decision based on it. It's strictly on these two algorithms, and it works very effectively. I will destroy anyone's trading strategy with this, day in and day out. You got people out there, I can't tell you, and it's the one time I feel good is when you look at like a head and shoulders pattern and you see the market sentiment, everyone's buying, 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 and my chart's telling me to go the other direction, and my chart's right. It's proven it to me so many times over and over again. So the bottom line of this story today, or this video today, is I'm not going to give you all of the ins and outs and the secrets of my algorithm. Be more than happy to help those avid traders out there who might be interested in that. But in any case, what I do want you to study is linear regression and polynomial regression. Start studying those two things and study it from both the mathematical end and from the charting end, because you go on TradingView and there's a ton of free shit, a ton of free indicators have already been built on these algorithms that you can take and learn and do it and start applying it, and then learn the back test. Don't just believe what you hear. Just because some idiot is driving a fucking Lambo and telling you he made $17 million and he's sitting there with some basic ass supply and demand strategy, say, yeah, just like that. It's like test and retest and I'll buy another Bugatti. Like, stop. Okay? Stop yourself right there. You're not that stupid. You're a smart individual. We all are. And don't fall for this shit. And I don't say don't fall for it for the reasons you might be thinking, like, don't go paying money to these idiots. Listen, they built courses, like it's worth money. Like they're not teaching you complete nonsense. Like they are teaching you some basic fundamentals. But again, all this stuff can be found for free on the internet. Like, so in all reality, it's like you're paying for something that's most likely going to slow you down because you're going to have unreal. Like, let's say for example, you see some guy. And I'm not going to name names, but they're out there and they're driving their friggin' Lambos and shit, and they're like, oh, buy my course, and they teach you this strategy. But they're ingraining it in your head that they made $17 million doing this in 3 months or whatever the fuck it is. And so you're now ingraining that, like, this idiot, if he can do it, I can do it. So now you've put that pressure on yourself. So what do you think's going to happen? You've got $5,000 in the bank and you're going to try to build a small account or something. Like, it's just never going to happen because of all the mental pressure you've put on yourself. And you're just holding yourself back. And there's probably a lot of traders that quit because of this. They end up blowing some money. They say this is not for me, and they quit. And it's all because of deception, essentially, at the end of the day. And again, it's still marketing. They're producing a course. It's a product. I'm not going to completely hate on it. But again, all this stuff can be found for free, just like this video. And like, I'm giving you a strategy that works. Like, I got nothing to sell you here. Like, this is killer. Like, it's disgusting. Like, if you saw me trade every day, you would lose your mind. You'd be like, damn, it's nuts. Like, again, it's still work. I still have to execute. I still have to, find my A+ and stay disciplined and do the right things. But it works, and I've given myself that gift with lots and lots of hard work. But it was, all the junk data out there that led me to this point. I just have the mindset that I just don't quit. Like, trading was just meant for me. So no matter how much disappointment I had from watching videos and YouTube stuff and strategies and then losing money with it, or maybe making some, or the worst is when you make money for like a couple weeks and you think you've got it figured out, and then you just have like a fucking week where you just get wrecked. And those are the worst, because you're like, oh, what happened? And I just, every time that happened to me, I just became more and more determined to beat this shit. And, what I did was I stopped trading. I learned Python and I learned coding techniques so I could take the data and test it faster. So, my lesson for you today, and you can reach me in the comments, and if you have any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Linear regression and polynomial regression. Start studying those two things when it comes to trading. Number two.